Welcome to the Next Man Up podcast again, together with your guy, Diego Dario, and we are going to be talking about a lot of basketball today, both here in the Philippines and outside the Philippines. So make sure to tune in. Of course, everyone is going to be listening to this podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, on Facebook. We're going to be having a lot of shows, including this one, of course, the Next Man Up podcast, An Eternity of Basketball, Hang Time with Denise Densai, Mukbang with Jho Jho, Who the Heck Are We, and of course this show. And we are going to be talking about what's going on with those shows. In the last episode, we talked about the PBA, specifically the PBA 3x3, and then the PBA awards. Of course, that's going to be coming up. And then we also talked about the SEA Games happenings, both with women's basketball, who won their gold, and then the SEA Games men's basketball, where our team did not win the gold. They won the silver for the first time in a very, very long time. So make sure to check that episode out if you didn't. Today, it's going to be a lot of basketball today, and then we're going to go for the other shows that we have with Globally Ballin. For the Eternity of Basketball, we had a lot of talk about the previous owner of Alaska until now, Wilfred Steven Uiteng Su. Of course, their storied franchise in the PBA, of a lot of basketball, a lot of inside scoop in this episode. So make sure to check that out. And also we had SJ Belangel with Denise Densai and Hang Time. Of course, I would say the King Eagle of Ateneo, at this particular point in time, he's probably the King Eagle of Ateneo. They did not win the championship, but still leading the team. And there you go. So together in this episode, as always, we're gonna have my partner, Mr. Gelo Vito, Mr. Hot Takes, as always, and also a professional hooper here in the Philippines. So both professional hoopers. I'm also a basketball analyst, just talking about hoops. Jello, how have you been?
Everything's good, Jigs. How are you? And all of our listeners. It's a great week of basketball. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of things to talk about, even outside of the Philippines. So it's gonna be an interesting one.
All right. So first off, we're gonna run down all the things that we're gonna be talking about today, and the first one's gonna be very interesting. It involves first the PBA and other leagues around the world, and basketball has been very global in the past years. With the B League there, with the Taiwan League going in, a new Korean League coming up also, and it's been a while. It's been, I think, a long time coming since basketball is slowly being globalized. So we're gonna talk about that, involving the PBA and the other stakeholders that are involved, and also who got signed in the B League, professional hoopers from the Philippines who got signed by the B League. We're gonna be talking about that in a bit, and also, of course, the PBA is coming up. The new PBA season is on its way, and the rosters have been announced. I think it was yesterday. The rosters were announced. A lot of interesting, um, I guess, lineups. Some players missing, some players, still not sure if they're gonna be playing for this team or not, right? So we're gonna be talking about that as well. And also for the last topic for today, we're gonna be talking about Kai. Of course, we're gonna talk about Kai Sotto. We're rooting for him. Is he gonna make it to the NBA? Is he gonna get drafted? There have been rumors around. There have been news that he has been working out with teams, and also that there are teams that are probably promising that he's gonna get drafted by them. So very interesting topics for today, Jello. We'll talk about the poaching. That's how the PBA actually said. They used the word poaching with other agents and other leagues trying to get Filipino hoopers here in the Philippines. What's your take on that first, Gels?
Uh to tell you honestly, I don't really think that's poaching. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
really say it's poaching. But again, as a player, I would always look what is best for me in my career.
Yeah.
So whether it's from an agent, whether if I'm working with an agent or not, the decision would always be what's best for me as an athlete, as a player. You know that, Diego. And for it to be called poaching, it can be called poaching if probably you still have an existing contract, or if you want to go to another league with an existing contract. That's probably a thing that to be considered. But for someone who is, let's say, new, or someone who is fresh out of college or trying to look for things overseas, I don't really think that you should like call it poaching, really. But Diego, the question for me: what are the grounds? To be honest with you, like what are the grounds for it to be considered
Yeah.
as a new guy, like or like Ricky Vargas was talking about unregistered or unregulated agents. Like, so what are the grounds for that?
Yeah,
For
that
you
makes
to
sense
consider?
because honestly, I've been tapped before for a Division 3 um, stint in Japan,
The Japan,
and
yeah.
there you cannot actually get into talks with teams there without an agent from abroad, without an agent actually from Japan who are
Japan.
talking to the team. So it can't just be your agent here talking to straight to the teams there.
Yeah.
There will still be a connection between an agent in Japan or somewhere or, outside the country, and if you have an agent here, he's the one going to be talking to those guys, right? So I think it will be a problem. You're correct, Jello, if the players are currently in contract with a PBA team and these players and agents are already in talks about playing for a different league. I think that's where the problem lies. It's not about the players having an option to play abroad. I don't think that is the problem for the PBA. I think they've allowed PBA players already to play there, right? With Kiefer Ravena playing there, they've allowed Thirdy, although Thirdy hasn't played in the PBA, to play there. Bobby Reyes playing there, Dwight Ramos, and of course you would understand the PBA and their perspective. Of course, they want
Yeah.
Filipino hoopers to stay here, to
Yeah.
play here, because for the fans to appreciate their game, to appreciate how they play, and not go to the other countries, right? I think that's where the PBA is coming from. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case there. But for the players, who are we? Who are the other people to stop them from playing abroad? I mean,
Yeah. That's true.
we also talked about it, Jello. I talked to some of the PBA guys. Most of the young guys actually are the ones willing to play abroad
Yeah.
compared to the um,
Seasoned
you know
vets
yeah, seasoned vets already here who have families here. That's what
who are
that's what
really
Sir
established.
yeah, that's what Sariki said, that this is their home. The PBA will be their home. The PBA will always be a league that they can return to after playing there, and they will welcome them back. I think that's a good sign for the PBA,
Yeah.
right? Like, because at the end of the day, I think all these young players who are playing abroad, they're not gonna retire in Japan. They're not gonna retire
Yeah.
in
They're
Korea.
not.
Their
Not
families
really.
are here, right? So eventually, after a few years of playing there, they're gonna come back here to the PBA, take care of their families, build a family here, and retire here. It
Yeah.
just makes sense. I don't think they're gonna stay there for a very very long time.
Yeah. And in terms of player development or the level of competition, the experience. Let's talk about Javi. Let's talk about Javi. Javi played for an entire season in the B League, and right now he's with Terra Firma. He entered the draft right after his stint with Japan, and right now he's with Terra Firma. I really think the level of game and experience that Javi got in Japan, he would definitely bring it in the PBA.
Hmm.
It's a long season there. He had a good run. He had great experience over there. And for him to play in Terra Firma is already a plus for them. The advantage that he got, the experience and the competition that he has garnered in that
Yeah.
stint in Japan, he would definitely bring it to the PBA. He would really elevate the level of game. in the country just because he had that stint in Japan. So it's already a plus plus. It's already a win-win for both.
Yeah, I think that's always a good thing. That's also the reason why we hire foreign coaches here to try to change our programs, try to
That's true.
teach our other coaches here, because I think globalization, yes, there might be some negative effects, but I think the positive outweighs the negative in terms of developing the basketball scene here in the Philippines, developing players, developing coaches as well. Because look at what Coach Tab did to the UAP. He has been winning so many games in the
Yeah.
UAP, winning championships, and it took what 2 to 3 years to for UP, for our team, for Coach Gold to get up to his level, to do
Yeah.
the things that he does as a coach and put it into a team and make the team run that kind of a system and eventually compete with them. Because if I believe that if Coach Tab, did not, let's say, coach here in the Philippines, I think no one would coach that way also who is a Filipino coach, like let's
Yeah.
say Coach Goldwyn. I mean, we have to say it, like Coach Goldwyn kind of learned a lot from Coach Tab, the way he does things on
Yeah.
defense, denying passing lanes, pressuring uh, the basketball on defense, making sure to execute, doing a lot of film. I mean, I feel like that's the effect of globalization of basketball here in the Philippines. And do you agree, Jello? Do you agree with that sentiment? I mean, basketball, I copy moves from other players. The coaches
Yeah.
probably copy plays from other coaches also, right?
Yeah. And it's something that people don't understand is that there's always this certain standard that
Mhm.
we always tend to reach or tend to level at,
Yeah.
in terms of coaching, in terms of playing. There's always that standard. And in terms of the UAAP, we would all agree that in the past 3 4 years, the Ateneo, the Ateneo team, that system is the standard, is
Mhm.
the gold standard for collegiate basketball. Everyone knows that. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows that. And again, like what you said, it took 3 years for teams, or
Yeah.
for even one team to crack that code. And
Yeah.
again, you would see the competition in the past UAAP in the past season that competition was really high. Competition was really up there. Even coming from a 1 year, 1 season hiatus.
Yeah.
But the standard, the level of competition is still high.
Yes, sir.
So it's really people or really new things or let's say an innovation of play, of competition, of everything that brings the level of play much higher.
Yeah.
So it's
So
really a
again,
good thing. It's really a
yeah.
good
So
thing.
again, it's gonna become a problem. It's gonna be poaching. You could say it's poaching if these agents, these teams are already talking to some of the teams here in the PBA, some of the players while they're in contract. I think that's
Yeah,
where the problem is, and I commend the PBA for I think calling them out. I think they have to be more professional in terms of that, in terms of the
yeah,
timing of them talking. I think after the contract, then you can talk, then you can try to
yeah. That's
negotiate
true.
for other contracts. I think that's where the disconnect is at this point in time. But I think globalization is a good thing for basketball. I support it. I support players going abroad and then coming back. I mean, this is their home anyways. But talking about foreign teams, foreign coaches looking for talent here, Gels, there's also a Korean coach looking for talent here in the Philippines. Their national coach Cho Sang Hyun
Yeah,
actually came here not for any competition for FIBA related competitions, but to recruit a potential Asian import
yeah.
because in the KBL they're already allowing Asian imports. What can you say? What was the difference of a Korean basketball league, let's say compared to us, to the Philippine basketball league, or let's say Japanese? I mean, you played Internationally, also, you've been watching international basketball. How does the Koreans play? How do they play compared to other
No,
countries?
I've played against Korean.
Yeah,
Like before I played, I remember I played the Korean team before, and they're pure shooters, bro. Like
yeah, that's how
they
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 play.
shoot the lights out. Like you leave them quite a small space, they will shoot at will. And with how the game has been developing here in the country, it's more of like relatable to how Koreans and other teams play. We have shooters. We like running up and down the floor. We really want good spacing. We're really spreading the
Yeah,
floor. That's
yeah,
that's how the game is played right now. Tell you honestly, it's more of like a positionless basketball, a 5 out basketball. Anyone can shoot from the outside right now. Anyone can put the ball down and penetrate and then gotta give an
yep.
extra pass, a kick out. So it's something that probably Korean coaches and even Japan and even in Taiwan wants, because again, the majority of coaches in those leagues are consultants, are international coaches as well. They're European coaches, American coaches. So they're just trying to have that edge, look at an edge. But by the end of the day, the gameplay is still the same.
Yeah, that's facts. And it's at the end of the day, it's still basketball.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I totally agree with you. With Koreans, they shoot a lot of threes. I mean, that's how they've played ever since. Even 10 years ago, they were known to be a 3-point shooting country. And when we played
Mhm.
against Korea, they're very disciplined, running their
Yeah,
sets,
very much.
playing defense. They're very loud. They really talk a lot inside the court. And one story, actually, I just won't say names. When one of the Korean coaches came here, um, there were some college hoopers who actually worked out with him. I just won't name names. And majority of the workout, not even live, not even a lot of skills. Majority of it was shooting.
Shooting.
They counted attempts, they counted makes, your percentages, they counted it. Shooting off the dribble, shooting on the move, shooting spot up. That's what they were trying to look for. So they were trying to look for wings, to maybe to complement their fast guards in Korea. I'm sure the
Yeah.
world imports there will be big men. So they were looking for
Shooting
wingmen
bigs.
that can, yeah,
Wing and shooting
wingmen
bigs.
and shooting bigs that can help their team from the outside, because that's what the workouts were comprised of, majority.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is exciting for the Filipino fans to see how
Yeah.
Filipinos will fare in Korea. But let's go back to the B League, because there have been a lot of signings, Gels, in the B League.
Yeah.
Bobby Ray Parks will return to the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. I mean, I think Ray Ray was one of the most consistent players in
Yes, that's
the B
true.
League
That's
when
true.
it comes to Asian imports, Filipino imports who have been playing there. I mean, some of the guys played well at the start. I mean, Javi played well at the end, but I think Ray Ray was one of the most consistent. What in Ray Ray's game can you see that makes him a very consistent player no matter where he plays around the world?
It's something that he has developed all throughout these years, is that he's
Mhm.
shooting.
Yeah.
If you would look at him, and you played with him. You played with Bobby Ray for one season in the PBA. And he can facilitate, he
Yeah.
can he can create baskets for his teammates and for himself. But what's really striking for me during his stint in the B League is that his shooting vastly improved.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't at first you would be confused with, why is he spotting up? Why is he just running to the corner, spotting
Straight
up,
to the
taking that
corner.
3 point?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what made him really, really consistent. That's what made him really efficient for Nagoya. And that's probably because he got a contract extension with that team, because
Yeah.
again, like what you said, he's one of the consistent guys in that team. So
Yeah.
would you say he's a role player? Not really. he can really create and score, lead that team, but with the way he plays and the way he delivers himself to any other team is already a plus. So that's
Yeah, I
why
think
that's a good
when
thing
you
for him.
when you talk about Ray Ray, he's really a professional when it comes to
That's true.
doing his work, when it comes to taking care of his body, being there early, just being a professional in general, inside and outside the court. And he knows what he wants as a hooper. He knows where he wants this. He's gonna ask for it. He needs this.
Yeah.
He wants to play abroad. He's gonna do that. That's what I respect about Ray Ray.
Yeah.
And also, what's special about him? I mean, when we were teammates, he was a great leader. He would talk to a lot of the guys, whether they're bench players or they're starters. He would motivate them, and he's probably doing the same thing in Japan in a different team in a different setting. And yeah, I totally agree with you that he has learned to play both with the ball and also off the ball, and he's been showing more of the off-ball stuff in Japan. I mean, he's embraced that kind of a role with the Nagoya Dolphins. But we all know that he can actually hoop. He can give him the ball. He can do anything that he wants. He can give you a triple double. He can give you assists. He can give you 3-point shots, mid range, everything. And that's how special he is because in Japan he's learned how to play off ball. Now let's talk about another guy who has signed with the Hiroshima Dragonflies, Justin Baltazar Jello. I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't seen him play in Japan, but we have seen him play internationally with the Gilas program. We played against this guy Jello when he was with LaSalle. Uh, how do you think he's gonna fare in Japan, Jels? And I also heard that part of his clause actually is um he can bring his family
He can
there.
bring his
So I think
family.
yeah, I think he has a kid, right?
There's a
So I
kid and
think
a wife.
he has a kid and a wife, and he will be bringing them there. I think that's a crucial clause in anyone's
Yeah.
contracts,
That's
especially here.
true.
I think that's going to be a game changer
Yeah.
for hoopers here in the Philippines who want to play in Japan. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Justin Baltazar Gels. Uh, you've guarded this guy. What can
Yeah,
you
a lot
say?
of times, bro.
Yeah,
A lot of times.
yeah, I
You
didn't
know,
guard him ever.
yeah. But he set screens on you.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, but talking about Justin Baltazar, currently he's still here in the country. He's
Yeah,
playing in the
staying in
NBL.
shape. Yeah, staying in shape.
He's playing in the NBL for the Pampanga Deltas under Dennis Pineda. And talking about this guy, from the time we started playing against him, I don't know, probably 2016, I think, during his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. His game has developed a lot, like a lot. Like from being just a guy who would get drop passes and finishing around the rim to guy to a player now who's putting the ball down, playing the three possession. Even in Gilas, he was, according to Tab, he's the perfect guy for that three possession. He has for international play, he has the right amount of size, the right amount of speed, and he has also developed his outside shot with it, which is very, very important in international play
Yeah,
for his position, for his height, and for his size, and also for him having that clause. It's also an added motivation. It's really, really important for your family to be alongside with you because again, playing overseas, basically an OFW, you
stuff.
know, it's tough. It's really tough to play out. And I was talking to Javi and one
Yeah,
before that Javi was
yeah. I
like,
was about to say yeah.
yeah, Javi told me like he's doing things that he's never done in his life before. Doing laundry, doing all the cooking, commuting left and right. He's in Japan, yes, it's quite comfortable in Japan. But again, living alone by yourself for like 18, 19 months is tough. It's really,
Yeah.
really tough.
I
And
think that's also the case because these are college hoopers turned into
yeah,
professionals right away,
yeah.
and they played internationally outside of their home country. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, the independent stuff. I think eventually everyone will go through that, But I think it's more of the, yes, you're in Japan probably the first 2 weeks. Yes, it's nice here. If you're on vacation, probably a week or two
Yeah.
in Japan is enough, right? But when you get to the sixth week, to the seventh
Yeah.
week in Japan, where not a lot of people speak in English. I don't think a lot of people talk about this. Not a lot of people speak English in Japan. Maybe your teammates, you're probably gonna um, gravitate towards the teammates who speak good English. That's what Javi and Juan said. And that's tough, man. That's tough. It's very important for you to keep in touch with your family, probably um, because after basketball, what are you gonna do in Japan? You can probably eat the good food, but but at the end of the day, we need people. We need people to be with, people to talk to, and I think that's gonna be the hard part. As with other OFWs, to create connections, right, with the people in that country. So yeah, I mean, good luck to Justin, to Bobby Ray, but Kobe Paras is a free agent. He's actually here in the Philippines. He's been working out, getting ready. I think his off-season work has been ongoing. Do you think Kobe Paras is gonna be joining the B League again soon, or he's gonna wait? Mr. Hot Takes, what do you think? Joining a different league or staying here in the Philippines?
That's gonna be a tough one. But again,
Yeah,
his services are much needed in any type of team, in any league, in any team. His services is much appreciated
yeah.
with the talent that
Athletic
he brings.
wing. Yeah,
The
can
athletic
shoot from the
wing,
outside.
can
Yeah,
shoot, yeah, can create, can put the ball down, can dunk on all over,
can get
dunk on,
blocks.
get
Yeah,
blocks. Yeah, his services would be much appreciated in any team and in any league.
yeah.
But right now, the perfect move for him is probably to stay. Well, probably to stay in Japan. If there are any offers, I think the best move for him is to stay in Japan, establish himself there, because he's young. How old is he? 24, I
He's my
think. He's
age. My
young.
age, so 25.
24,
Yeah,
25. He's
24,
young.
25. Yeah.
He's young, right? Out of all the guys in the B League right now, Filipinos in the B League, he's the youngest.
Yeah,
So
and there have been questions just why isn't he with Gilas? I mean, I think some of the guys have committed to Gilas.
yeah,
I think 30, Dwight,
38,
and all
Dwight,
that,
yeah.
Kiefer. But with Kobe, I think his contract already ended with Gilas. I heard he was with
Mm-hmm.
Gilas before the Gilas program. I remember that, but I think
Yeah.
he stopped. And I think anytime he's called up, I think he's ready to go. I mean, who wouldn't say no to a Gilas call up, right? I think Kobe's the type to, you know, who will be glad to represent the country. And then another guy that just signed with the B League is Dwight Ramos.
Dwight
He just
Ramos.
signed with a new team.
Yeah.
So he's not with Toyama now. He's with the Levanga Hokkaido. So Dwight Ramos, one of the consistent guys also in the B League, Jello, when he
Yeah.
started playing the B League, right in his first game, he balled out right away.
He balled out. He
Shot
balled
from
out.
the outside, created for his team, always steady, Jels. What makes Dwight Ramos a special player, Jels? Is it his size? Is it his space? I mean, a lot of things that you can get from his game.
He's a very smart player. Like probably he's not the most for me. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most. He's not the fastest. He's not
Yeah,
the strongest. But his basketball IQ is so high
yeah,
that he doesn't have to make a ton of moves. Doesn't have to jump on people to be the best or to
yeah,
have an efficient game. That's what Dwight Ramos brings to the table. And to tell you honestly, he can play 1, 2, and 3 positions
yeah.
in the B League.
And
He
he
can
doesn't,
shoot. He can
he
defend.
doesn't play his age. Just this
Yeah.
guy plays like he's a 33-year-old vet
Yeah.
who, even if a lot of players are pressuring him, he just, plays at his own pace. Doesn't get rattled. He just
Yeah,
takes
that's
what the
true.
defense is giving him when it comes to,
That's true.
ball screen. When the shot
That's
is
true.
there,
That's
he's
true.
gonna take it. When he has a driving lane, he's gonna take it. When he has a open teammate, he's gonna give the right decision.
Yeah.
So I think Dwight Ramos, I think he's gonna be a very consistent player for his new team. But to all the listeners out there, what do you think with a lot of players going abroad for hooping? Should they stay here or should they try playing abroad also, and try to, you know, bring the banner of the Filipinos, and represent the country in and represent the Philippines in different countries, because
Yeah.
a lot of Filipinos are in different countries also. You can try to go out there. Also, who do you think out of all the signings, out of Bobby Ray Parks, Justin Baltazar, Kobe Paras, and Dwight Ramos, who do you think will have a breakout season? I would say in the B League. To all the listeners, take your pick and why. Why is it gonna be Ray Ray? Why is it gonna be Justin or Kobe or Dwight? Jels, who do you think out of the four? Who's gonna be your pick there?
I've got to go with Dwight. I'm going with Dwight. I'm going with Dwight.
Yeah, that's the safest pick, probably.
That's the safest. That's probably the safest answer. But I really can't say if it's gonna be a hot take. If it's gonna be a legit hot take, I was supposed to go with Justin Baltazar.
Yeah, I think so
But
too. I mean, I think he's
yeah.
bound to surprise
Everyone,
some
yeah.
Filipinos here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Before we go to the next topic, I would wanna plug the other episodes of Globally Ballin and all their other shows. So with no new episode of Mukbang out yet, now is your chance to check out past episodes on the YouTube channel, including episode 5, with of course Eliza Valdez and other guests. Also, you can check out the other episodes. Aaron Black, Denise Densai was there, Desiree Cheng, and other athletes here in the Philippines. For Who the Heck Are We? At the moment of recording, the most recent episode of this show is 101, episode 101 with Sebastian De Vera, or Coach Putit. He already coached UP before, back I think 10 years ago, and now he's back with the Fighting Maroons as an assistant under Coach Goldwyn. So watch that on Globally Ballin YouTube channel. Depending on when you are watching, there may be other new episodes, so be sure to check out the channel. And if this isn't something you would want to watch, maybe someone, your friend, your dad, your mom, your brothers or sisters might want to watch it. So make sure to check that out. All right, Gels. Now let's move on to the next topic. I mean, yes, we talked about international players, but we gotta talk about this guy. Oh no, let's talk about Kai later. We're gonna talk about the PBA rosters first. The PBA is already coming up, and the opening day is gonna be on June 5. Right? It's gonna be on June 5. First game, of course, the awards will be there, so we're gonna be able to compare our awards to the actual awards, just so
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
to check that episode out, episode 3 of Next Man Up. We checked out the awards. We talked about who's gonna win MVP, who's gonna win Most Improved, who's gonna win. No, there's no defensive player. The Rookie of the Year.
Rookie
Is
of
it
the
gonna be
Year.
Mikey Williams of Rookie MVP after a long time? So check that episode out. But the awards will be on June 5 on the opening ceremonies. First game, Jello, will be the new team in the PBA, Converge Fiber Xers, going up against the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. Talk about the roster here and maybe who's gonna win the first game.
Okay, let's talk about the Converge Fiber Xers first. So since they're the new team, and most of the lineup is composed of holdovers, mostly holdovers from the previous team, the Alaska Aces. You guys got Mike De Gregorio there.
The
You guys
usual,
got
yeah.
the usual. Mike De Gregorio, Jeron Teng's there. Ben Adamos is there. Taylor Brown is there, and they also got new acquisitions from the trade. They got David Murrell.
Ooh,
From
you know what I
NLEX.
heard, Just David has been playing very, very well for Converge. I think he's been
Yeah.
scoring 20. So if people
20s,
are
yeah.
watching this, or maybe some of the teams, this might be a give out for David, but you guys got to be ready for this guy. This guy
Yeah.
is athletic, has been working on his game, has been
Yeah.
in the lab. For of course, former Fighting Maroon. I think he's
Yeah.
back to his old self, Jello. We saw David the first time he ever played in the Philippines. It was a summer league game with UP.
Yeah, fresh
And
off the boat, bro. Fresh off
before
the
the
airport,
injuries and all
bro.
that, before playing the 4 in UP, this guy is a wing. His first ever bucket was actually from me. Off the
From
jump
you.
ball, he just told me to put it up there. He'll catch it and dunk it. That's what he did.
That's what
His
he
first
did.
ever bucket in the Philippines is alley dunk from me. So if David wins most improved player, or if David wins, a lot of awards, he has
We
to
first
say
called it
thank you to
here.
me. Yeah, we first called it here.
Called it here.
All right, so yeah, Fiber Xers, a lot of holdovers, but also a lot of new teams, new players rather.
New players, yeah.
Will be there. 3 rookies in Lohera, Ambohot,
Ambohot and Arana.
and Justin Arana.
Justin Arana, yeah.
So very interesting because as we all know, Coach Danny I is with the Fiber Xers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these big guys will have a daily skills training with the legend Danny I. So it's going to be very exciting how they're going to make it here. I mean, Abu Trotter won't be here. I think he's one of the players probably talking to other teams abroad.
Mav Hanmisi.
Mav also.
Mav
That's
also.
what I heard. I mean, no facts said here, just rumors. And the Fiber Xers will be going up against the Rainer Shine Elasto Painters, Gels. The usual players here, but no JV Mokon, Gels.
Oh, JV, yeah. There has been rumors that he's on the trading block right now because apparently
I think he doesn't want to sign the
the
negotiations haven't been finished yet.
They've come into an impasse in terms of negotiation. They can't agree on something. I don't know. So he's just put on the trading block for some reason. But
they're good, solid rookies and solid vets for Rainer Shine. I mean, they have Mamuyak. They have Gabe Norwood. Of course, the vet Mike Nieto will be there. Anton Asistio, Sean Aldefonso, who's a rookie.
Jonard Clarito. Jonard Clarito is here.
I mean, he's been playing in different leagues here in the Philippines. Finally, he made it to the PBA. Happy for him. So what do you think? Who's going to win it, Gels? Rainer Shine or Converge?
I think I have to go with Rainer Shine in this one, Jegs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you're going to look at the lineup of Converge, they're a very, very small team.
Yeah.
Not even small. Like I was with David Murrell and Taylor Brown yesterday. I was working out with them. The term "small" is an understatement. They called themselves bro. They said, bro, we ain't small. We're tiny.
Yeah,
we're tiny. David and Taylor Brown had to play the 4. David sometimes had to play the 5.
So we're gonna see a lot of small ball from the Fiber Xers and Coach Jeff. But in terms of length, I don't think they lack that. It's just because I mean, David's what 6'3",
6'3", 6'4". Yeah, good. Yeah,
6'3", 6'4". I think Taylor Brown is 6'2". I mean, they're not a small team. They're just a team with a lot of guards.
A lot of guards, a lot of wings.
They have Adamos, they have Ambohot, they have the rookies, right, in Justin Arana. They're gonna have a lot of minutes in their rookie years. This is the perfect opportunity for them because they will not be competing with minutes. They will get their minutes, and it's gonna be up to them to develop their games as fast as possible because Converge, I'm sure they want to win right away.
Yeah, but they also have Alin Bulanadi.
Bulanadi also, so a lot of young players. But just let's talk about the next game of that opening day.
This is gonna be a good one.
Hot Shots. That's their new name now against the TNT Tropang Giga. The rematch of the Philippine Cup Finals here.
Yep.
Who do you think is gonna win this? Talk about their rosters real quick.
With Magnolia, they still have same suspects. They still got Calvin Abueva, your MVP candidate. Calvin's still there. Mark Baroka, Gio Halalan still there. Ian Sangalang is still there.
They're basically the same team.
Basically the same team. With Talk and Text, same. They still have Poyeram, another MVP candidate in Mikey Williams, Kib Montalvo's there, Jason Castro, RR Pugoy. Same suspects, basically. And someone's gonna be debuting for Talk and Text. And a guy named JD Tungkab, our guy JD Tungkab.
Yes, sir. So
finally, after
Maroon, he signed I think he signed a 2-year with TNT. Congrats to that guy.
Congrats to that guy.
I mean, he's gonna learn a lot from Mikey, from Jason, from a lot of the guards here, maybe wingmen. But one thing I would definitely say about JD, he's gonna be a defender. I think
Yes.
that's his number one role first, and then the offense will come next. Because if you're a guy who can make stops, who can lock up players in the PBA, you will have minutes. The
He'll have
offense will
minutes.
come because if you
Yeah.
can play defense, you're gonna stay on the floor. So
Yeah,
who is
that's true.
gonna win this, just Mr. Hot Takes, TNT
Ah,
or Magnolia? I mean, both almost the same teams.
yeah.
Not a
But
lot of new guys. I mean, probably just Tongkab here with TNT.
I'm going with Talk and Text. I'm going with Talk and
Ooh,
Text.
ooh.
I'm going with Talk and
Why?
Text.
Just because of Mikey and him playing in the Philippine Cup? This guy is
you,
an
you,
import.
you
TNT is the
consider it an
only guy
import.
with an import here
Import.
in the
Yeah.
Philippine Cup.
Yeah, they have certain edge. Like they have an edge really in terms of experience, in terms of size, and again they have Mikey Williams with them. So but again we will see. Let's see. It's gonna be a great first opening day, I must
For
say.
sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
So
so with
yeah.
TNT and Magnolia, I'll probably go TNT with this one also, just because Magnolia, they're a playoff team. I would call them a playoff team, but let's see. Whoever is healthy. I mean, we don't know about the injuries, right? Whoever is the healthier team, I think will have a strong start. But for the followers, for the listeners, who do you think is gonna be the number one? Probably top four teams. Give us your top four teams here in the PBA with the results coming out, with their lineups and rosters out. Is it going to be the same suspects with the San Miguel, Ginebra, TNT, or do you have some dark horses that will actually try to go up the standings here in the Philippine Cups? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, like our channel here, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, anything, anywhere that you're listening to this podcast. All right, last topic of the show. Jello, we're going to be talking about Kai. I mean, he entered the draft, Gels. Kai is probably a legit 7'4" now. That's what I heard. He's legit 7'4". I've seen him working out, getting a lot of shots up. He's improved his stroke. He has a smooth stroke with a lot of tats also. I mean, I love it. I love the tattoos. I mean, that's how the young guys roll now, Gels. What do you think? Is he gonna get drafted? I think he's gonna get drafted. That's
He's
for
gonna
sure. I
get
mean,
drafted.
I
That's for
don't
sure.
think
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
question. I feel like he's gonna get drafted. The question is he gonna get signed or at least play in the summer league? That's gonna be the question. How about you, Jess?
The best case for him is Reyes to get drafted by a team with full of Filipino heritage, I must say. Like right now, there have been rumors
Sacramento,
that Sacramento.
right?
That's probably
I mean, a lot of Filipinos there too.
that's probably a Jimmy Alapag pick, I must say.
The connection, yeah.
The connection and everything, and probably the best team that would draft him is I would say Utah because of Jordan Clarkson. Again, that
the Filipino
heritage
there,
or
yeah. Even the Warriors,
Portland,
they have been
Warriors, yeah,
rumors also at the 54th.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's a good sign, good market also for Kai.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
that's right.
Filipinos in San Francisco and in that part of the country, right? So
And we hope the best case for him right now when he gets drafted is to get a two-way contract. Like what
I mean,
Taco Fall.
yeah, I would take
That's
that.
the best. Yeah, I would literally take that to let's say he gets drafted to the Warriors, let's say.
Yeah.
The Warriors has a
What do you
great
say? What do
G-League
you say
team.
with the haters, just that Kai isn't ready yet? He shouldn't have entered the draft yet. What can you say? You should train 1 to 2 more years. What's your comment on that?
No, I think this is the right time for him.
Yeah, I think
This
also
is
it's the
This
perfect
is the
time
right time. It's the
because
perfect time for him.
the NBA, the way they draft, they don't just draft your current state; they draft your
Yeah.
potential.
Your
Right?
potential,
So if
yes.
they see a potential in, let's say, 3-4 years from now, if you develop a 3-point shot, you're gonna be a deadly big man in the league. So that's how they look
Yeah.
at things now. When you talk about the NBA, it's not, oh, can you produce right away? Can we
Yeah.
develop you and then eventually turn you into a great player? So Yeah, I mean, a lot of good centers also have been coming out from the NCAA this year also already. So I think with
Yeah,
Kai, I think it's the perfect time at his age to enter the draft.
yeah, that's
So
true.
that there's that potential factor that NBA teams look at. So just for all the followers, what do you think is Kai? What's gonna happen with Kai in the NBA? Who's gonna draft him? Do you think it was a good decision for him entering the draft? Let us know down below on the comments. And yeah, it has been a great conversation, Gels. That was a good almost 50 minutes of conversation, Gel.
Yeah,
Of course, always a great time with you in here.
yeah.
Uh,
Always a
before we
pleasure,
go,
Jegs.
before we go, let's just plug our show, Next Man Up. Catch all episodes on YouTube and Spotify. It's available on Spotify, guys. So you can take the show on the go. You're driving. You're I don't know, listening to the podcast while watching shows, or I don't know, walking your dog. You can listen to it already. So you can also yell at Jealous hot takes in the car if you want while driving. That is a
Yeah,
welcome sight for me. If you
yeah,
can also take a video of it, reacting to Jealous hot takes, I would love that. While working out, you can also do that. So
yeah.
please be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and a review. That's gonna help us a lot for other people to find the show. Also, Next Man Up podcast. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. And Jello, thank you. Any last words before we go?
No, I mean, again, thank you guys for listening in our podcast. It's been a pleasure working with Diego and working with globally Ballin Network.
Yes, sir.
Guys out there, it's been great. It's been a pleasure working
Yeah,
with
behind the
you guys.
scenes to all.
Being
Yeah.
Yeah, and two more episodes, Jegs. Two
Yes,
more
sir.
basketball conversations with you and with
Yes, sir.
everyone to our listeners. So let's keep it up.
Yes, sir. For all the viewers, for all the people behind the scenes, we appreciate you guys. That's been me and Jello for Next Man Up podcast. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Till the next one. Peace.
Peace.